Hey everyone, welcome to the first episode of the podcast. This podcast is called the Inner City Hermit. Reason kind of why I started this podcast, or I decided to start this podcast, is I feel like there's so much stuff that happens, especially around Brisbane. And if you guys are like me, you don't really watch the news or anything like that. And I kind of like to find out things myself. And I don't know, I feel like I have a pretty funny outlook on a lot of things. And one of the main reasons I wanted to start the podcast is I'm pretty much too stupid to start a business or anything like that. I've always wanted to start a business. I've always wanted to, get into clothing labels, get into stuff like that. But I think I just don't have the willpower or the creativity to do it. And then I started listening to some podcasts, stuff like that. I really enjoyed the platform, and as generic as it sounds, listening to different types of podcasts, whether it be comedy, news, all that sort of stuff, I just found that it was a platform that I like to listen to. So as every dumbass who decides they want to start something, I decided to start a podcast as well. I think the plan behind Inner City Hermits is that we want to find out the cool things that happen around, especially around Brisbane. So starting small. So there's obviously a lot of people around Brisbane, whether it be my friends or people I know, who are into really, really cool stuff, and they're doing really cool stuff, cool things, cool startup projects. So for me, it was just about, an opportunity for me to talk, discuss, and also meet some people, as well as come up and speak about like some ideas that I have kind of had, or some opinions that I have that I think are probably, well, not opinions, I don't say, I'm not really one for opinions, but just my outlook on different things and some of the things that I do that I'm interested to see if other people do. And it is generic, like it sounds pretty generic when you think about it. Like, you see all like the Batuta Advocate articles about blokes at the pub think their pub banter's worth a podcast, and as funny as that is, I kind of think I've had so many conversations with so many different people where I'd be sitting there with them and I'm just like, it would be so awesome if there was just a microphone between us or between a group of us and people could hear just like the chat that goes on, because I think a lot of the chat that gets said off, like, when you're with a group of friends, it's actually really creative. And I think a lot of the jokes and things like that you tell when you're with your mates, or when you're with a group or whatever, or when you're just thinking by yourself, a lot of this stuff is like gold. And I think the idea behind the podcast too is just to, have a bit of therapy in it. Like if I see something, or if someone that I get on the podcast sees something, or I like kind of acknowledges something around just normal society that they want to bring up, I think it's a great way for people to kind of talk about different things, and for me myself to get a few things off my chest, some things that I find funny as well. Like I said, Inner City Hermit, I mean, to be completely honest, I actually just chucked that name. I was just like looking online. I think I Googled like podcast names or something, because I was just so stuck. I've got no idea. I didn't want to call it my name, so like my name's Matsen, but something that goes with that just doesn't really work. Whereas Inner City Hermit, I think Inner City Hermit for me kind of summed me up. I mean, I'm not from the city. I live inner city Brisbane now. I live in Newstead, and it's living in the city for me. It's just such a weird experience. Like, growing up in like the southern suburbs, like around like Logan, around Springwood, stuff like that. Moving to the city, I think I was so against the idea. Like, I really did not want to move to the city. All I could think about when I thought of the city was like traffic and hipsters, coffee shops, just too much going on, to be honest. But I think when I moved here, I think my perception changed a lot. See, I actually found myself becoming more social. I think I did, because everything's so close. I mean, I live in an apartment and my gym's across the road, the shops are across the road, and you start to get to know people around the area. So that's definitely something that's changed my outlook. But, still at heart, I'm still a bit of a hermit. I love being at home. I love just doing my own thing as well, and being really my own person. So I feel like the Inner City Hermit sort of thing with me, when I chucked that in, I think I actually put it in a podcast, like one of them Wu-Tang name generator things, and I just chucked in what my name was and what the podcast was, and it just changed it to Inner City Hermit. I thought, oh geez, that's pretty bang on, to be honest. Shit. So Inner City Hermit pretty much is what I want to learn new things, pretty much. Like, I'm a teacher by trades. Like, that's my job's a teacher. I love teaching. It's my favorite thing in the world. I literally can't think of anything more that I'd want to do in life. Like, it's the coolest job. I can't even explain how much I enjoy my job. But I think seeing the kids learning from me, I kind of realized that myself, I'm a bit of I would probably consider myself a bit of like a lifelong learner, to be honest. Like, I really enjoy learning things. And like a lot of people, I would say, is I listen to podcasts to learn new things. And whether it just be like, learning someone new, like some cool scientist is on a random podcast, or even like listening to like comedians, or one of my favorites is Talk is Jericho, which is a wrestling podcast. And realistically, like, it doesn't really focus primarily on wrestling. I just kind of like the whole conversational type platform. So, that's kind of why I wanted to start a podcast. And, I've been thinking about it for ages, and I'm kind of prepared to cop the stick that, generic bloke from Brisbane starts his own podcast and starts off by himself to see what happens. But I guess it's like anything. If you enjoy something, you may as well go and give it a go. Like, I think I'm starting the podcast with my laptop and a $25 mic from eBay, so which has actually impressed the shit out of me. Like, this thing is pretty legit, to be honest. When I pulled it out and I saw the tiny little box it came in, I thought, oh, here we go. I've been ripped off. Latest $25. But no, getting it out, I've got a bloody little tripod, and it took me a mission to actually get the thing sorted out, because I think it's from China, because there's no bloody instructions or anything on it. So I'm giving it my best go. Giving it my good old best go. And I figured it's raining this afternoon, and I just picked up the mic, so you got to start somewhere, so why not start at a random Friday afternoon and just sit down with a beer and have a yarn. Like I said, I wanted to start a business. I've always been pretty business orientated. My girlfriend, she runs her own dietetics business, so I kind of get inspired by her. I see all the stuff that she does, and she's so talented, it's ridiculous. But for me, kind of the only talent I really have is I love to talk. So that was pretty much the idea behind when I kind of fell in love with podcasting and the idea of podcasting. I mean, there was times, like, I know in high school I was an absolute Gumby when it came to music, but I'm like obsessed with music and hardcore music, heavy music, and rap music. I attempted to do a bit of rap music by myself. I think I still sit there in the shower and try and, one day I'm going to wake up and it's going to be like natural, like I'm going to be like the next P Rabbit or something. I'm going to go to bloody rap-offs and whatever and spit some stuff, but I got to be honest with myself, my brain is not that quick. It tries. It really, the idea is there. The thought behind it all and the whole performing thing would have been fantastic. But my brain is just not talented in the art. And then, obviously, I'd love to be a hardcore singer as well. But, I just know it now from a whole day of teaching, my voice is absolutely wrecked. So by the time, I reckon, if I even attempted to do like a heavy voice, I couldn't even keep it up. So like I said, I wanted to start a business, but I even wrote it down, wanted to start a business, but realizing you're a fucking idiot and trying your best with the brain you've got, it's really hard. So hence the podcast. I really wanted to give that a go, and I feel like I like talking to people as well. It's one of the things I do on a day-to-day basis. Like, I love learning new things about new people, and I've got a lot of talented friends that, they're in the same boat as me. They're really, really funny dudes, and I think having this podcast, whether it gets any traction or not, I don't think that's really the point behind it. The point behind it is this is something that I have always wanted to do, and this is something that, I could talk to my friends on and that sort of stuff. And I think getting that sort of stuff out there and like really taking it with both hands and giving it a go, I think that's the main thing around it. I've always been keen to give things a go, and this is no different about it. And I've always had ideas, like I keep telling my girlfriend, as I said, I keep telling her things like I want to start a business. I even asked her, like, do you think I'd be good at stand-up comedy? And like, I think I say some dumb stuff sometimes that sounds pretty funny. So I'm hoping, that stuff might even come out in the podcast. I don't know. Maybe you think I'm funny, maybe you don't. Like, I know I'm not really everyone's cup of tea, and some of the shit I say is probably going to be stupid. But I think we're all kind of like that. When we're alone and we're sitting around, you kind of have some dumb thoughts that you think, man, if I could just say this and see what other people think of this stupid idea is pretty funny. One of the ideas I had was I was sitting down and I was having a chat to a few people at work, and we were talking about like what's the first thing you think of when you walk into a room, like, and you get those generic answers like, oh yeah, like I like to know where is everyone? Where am I sitting? What am I doing in this room? But I don't know. Every room I seem to go into, the number one thing I think of, and I always do it. I always look up, whether I'm at the shops or just in my house. I always look up, and I try to find a space where I think if this house was going to collapse, or if this room was going to collapse, where is it first going to collapse from? I do it all the time at the shops. I remember I was at Garden City not long ago, and I was going on the escalators, and I was just sitting there thinking. I just looked up and I said, yep, that's the point. If this room is going to collapse, it's collapsing right there with that pole. Foundations are going straight through, and I'm making sure everyone is out. I'm kicking kids out of the way to make sure I'm getting out of this room. So that's just one of those thoughts that I was thinking, like, man, if someone could read my mind right now, like, they would think I'm an absolute, I should be in a psychotic asylum, to be honest. Things like that, like things that I don't really think, like, I don't know if anyone thinks like that. Like, do other people think like that? Like, where is this entire giant room going to collapse? Like, will it collapse? Am I going to be okay if it collapses? Stuff like that. Like, I don't know, is that crazy? I think it's funny, but yeah, there could be like early signs of bloody psychosis or whatever it is. But, things like that I find are just dumb things. Like, why would someone, like, the way your brain works sometimes just gets me thinking, like, why, and if everyone else thinks differently, like, why do I think like that? Like, are we kind of all, as a human species, like, are we kind of all inclined to have these weird thoughts? Like, I know there's a few thoughts that I've had, and I thought I was the only one that did it. Like, and then I'd have a chat to someone else, and they go, no, I do that as well. And I kind of start to think, like, is there things that we all kind of do that you think, man, like, are we just is it ingrained in our brain that we have to think about those things? Like, I don't know, like different tastes as well. Like, why is it that some people like different things and some people don't? It doesn't make sense. Like, why is it that someone else can eat the same thing as you do and it could be your favorite food, but they look at you like, dude, what is wrong with you? This tastes like absolute asshole. Like, what is up with that? I know, for example, like, I love this vanilla soy milk. This vanilla soy milk that I have all the time is the nicest drink, but my girlfriend, it cannot stand the taste. Like, it's too sweet for her. Like, what's the go with that? Why, if we're all the same, I don't understand why we all have different traits about us. Like, why does some people like different foods and other people don't? It doesn't make any sense. But we all do it. And nothing is going to, like, I don't think there's one universal food. Like, I can't think of one universal food that everyone says, yeah, that is like the shit. It is so good. I'm pretty sure every food I can think of, at least one person doesn't like that food. Like, and I'd love to be inside their brain to see if they actually like that food or not, or whether they're just trying to say it just to be like against the grain. Like the episode of SpongeBob where Squidward says he doesn't like Krabby Patties, and SpongeBob's like, no, dude, you like Krabby Patties. And he locks himself in a room and just demolishes the Krabby Patties. Like, is it like that? Like, is there like social context with what food you like? Like, is there a food that only poor people can enjoy? And is there a food that only the elite people in the world can enjoy? Like caviar. What the fuck is caviar? You're literally eating fish eggs. Like, I don't understand why people think it's elite to eat fish eggs. Is that? I'm gonna actually look that up. Is caviar actually fish eggs? Because it just seems like a meal that wouldn't even fill you up. Like, what is the point of eating fish eggs? Like, what type of fish egg is caviar? Traditionally, the term caviar refers to roe from wild sturgeon in the Caspian Sea and Black Sea. Oh yeah, fair play. It sounds pretty prestigious. But like, roe, the nutrition facts. It's good. Oh, okay. Hang on. 206 calories per 100 grams. Jeez, that's actually, I don't know. I'll have to get my girlfriend to have a look at this. It'll make it. 29 grams of protein in 100 grams. Is that a lot? I'm not sure. When you think about like roe or hard roe is the fully ripe internal egg masses in the ovaries or the released external egg masses of fish and certain marine animals such as shrimp, scallop, and sea urchins. Why is that expensive? Like, why is eating an egg you're literally eating fish periods? Why is that expensive? Why do rich people think that is cool? Like, I'm sorry, I'll take a hot dog any day over caviar. If someone gave me a bowl of caviar, I'd look at them like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? Like, why do people spend money on dumb foods? I will never understand that. See, things like that, how much money do you need to have before you start really liking these things? Like, if I won the lottery today, if I won $50 million next Tuesday in the Powerball or whatever it is, or the Oz Lotto, if I won $50 million, there is no freaking way I'm eating caviar. I don't care where I am. I am not eating caviar. Not a chance. No way. And another thing I don't understand, I went to the Hilton like a year ago because Kia, we were looking at foods, and I will not lie, this food from the Hilton, we got it for free because she was promoting it on Instagram, and I won't lie, it was unreal. It was the best food, probably some of the best food I've ever had. But what is the go with really rich, prestigious restaurants having small quantities of food? Like, if I'm paying $50 for a main meal, I want that main meal to be able to feed me for about 4 days. Like, I want to be able to take in as much food as possible, then stop for a second, then eat more food and have heaps more on my plate, and then grab a little Chinese food container, chuck some food in there and take it home and be able to feed me for the next 2 days. If I'm spending $50 on food on one meal, that's what I want out of it. I don't want some little pokey fucking bowl of caviar. Like, who would even... I'm not into it. I'm not into that at all. It seems stupid. It seems real stupid. At what point of richness do you go, I need to eat caviar? At what point of richness do you think $50 worth on dinner is unreal? No. I'm all for that cheap as Sunnybank feed. Go to little Singapore, pick up that $14 stir fry. Ooh, $14 stir fry, and you still get to take stuff home. That's me done. If I'm going on a hot date somewhere, I'm going on a hot date to Sunnybank to get me some ramen noodles or something like that. That's what I'm spending my money on, and I still got money left for dessert. That's what I'm spending my money on. I don't care if I got 40 mil in the bank or I've got $3. I'm going to Sunnybank every time. And if you don't know where Sunnybank is, look it up. if you love Asian food, that place is a mecca for Asian food. It is so... I actually can't think of another place that you get value for money like Sunnybank. It is unreal. I can't get over it. It's so good. If Inner City Hermits, if you're listening, if you're an Inner City Hermit and you're listening to this and you've managed to stumble across this podcast, if you get nothing out of this podcast, please take yourself to Sunnybank, go to Little Singapore, order that combination chow mein, chow down, get that coconut milk tea. Man, you're going to be full forever and your pockets are still going to be full. I was on Facebook the other day too, and I write all these ideas down. Once again, girlfriend making me a better person. She tells me every time you have a good idea, every time you see something, you need to write it down. And I did. I actually sat down the other day. I got this little book that I got from work, and I chucked some stickers on it, made it look real cool, made it look like I'm a bit of a professional or whatever the hell I do. And I was writing stuff down, but I was on Facebook, and I was just having a trawl through Facebook, and I managed to stumble across like 2 life coach videos. God knows why they're in my feed, because I'm about as bloody motivated as, I don't know, a tortoise. But I was looking, and I don't know, I managed to sit through like a 15-minute life coach video about their business, and I just noticed they all seem to sound the same. Like, think back to any life coach video that's popped up in your newsfeed. Like, it starts with they're always on a beach, or the best way for me to describe it is they're always where you'd rather be. So when you're watching this video, you're seeing Jono's over on a bloody beach somewhere at Hamilton Island or at Stratty. He's got some fine honeys around him. He's looking ripped. They're always ripped. Like, I don't understand. Like, if you have a successful business, apparently you have to be like jacked to shit. Like, where's the Steve Jobs dudes? Where's the bloody Zuckerbergs at, where they're looking real dodgy with their dad bods and shit haircuts? But these blokes, I'm pretty sure the guy that I was watching, I don't even remember his name. I won't even lie, he looked like a bit of a douche, but he's probably doing really well, probably doing better than me, so more power to him. But he was wearing a suit jacket, no shirt, just had his big oiled up abs just hanging out. Then he had his like dick root showing, like, the V-line that's almost down. You see these like little pubes just popping out the top of his shorts. And then he had long slacks that were rolled up. And he was walking along the beach in it was literally a 2-piece suit, but without the shirt. And I don't know, do people get into that? Like, do they think, yeah, oh man, this dude, look at him, he's wearing a suit jacket, no shirt, oiled up abs, man, this bloke is winning. So, maybe he does, maybe that's the clientele he's aiming for, but he's on a beach, and there's 3 things. There's 3 things why he always wants to tell you. He wants to look at building your market, stats, and freedom. Like, they're the 3 things a life business coach will get you. He's like, money. You want to get them stacks. Hey man, are you sick of being poor? You sick of them numbers? Like, get real into you about your numbers. And for someone who's got no business sense, I just get real intimidated by this big CEO looking dude. And anyway, they go, we're gonna crunch the numbers. We're gonna go from here. We're gonna go from as low as possible and build it up. And like, there's definitely people that buy into it, but man, I don't know. There's so many like that. Like, I've seen so many videos, and I just think to myself, like, how do these people get rich? Like, what do they own? Like, good for them, good on them. But I'm sitting here and I'm like, what? Like, they're all the same. Like, how do you know if I look at like a BMW and I look at like a real Dodge car, like, I can kind of tell the difference. I go, oh man, that BMW, I would take that car any day over this. But when you got like 8 douchebags telling you about crunching numbers, how do you tell the best douchebag? Like, what's a telltale sign of a really successful douchebag? Like, even thinking now. Obviously, you got the suit jacket with no shirt. That'll definitely do it. But I don't know. What is See, there you go. What is the sign of a telltale sign of a really successful douche? I mean, I got a lot of friends in real estate, so like I'd never pay out real estate agents. They're killing the game. But man, there are some douchebag dudes in that area, eh? There's a lot of, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just a thing. Maybe it's just like a part. You know, like when you see someone doing something and you're like, oh, okay, that's the job. I need to align myself with the way they act. Maybe that's it. Maybe I'm just an idiot. I think it's probably more towards me being a dumbass and just thinking too much into things. But yeah, I don't know. And then there's the other guys. Like, have you ever seen the other guys that are like, yeah, I went from working 12-hour day shifts as a labourer, and now I sit at home and I'm making $50,000 a month. And I'm thinking, like, how does that happen? Like, the videos are funny because they still look like bogan dudes, and they're sitting in like an office that's just like the spare bedroom of their share house, and they've got like the old school computer, like the old school Windows computer in front of them, probably like a flat cap, and they're like telling you how you're gonna make heaps of money, and they always, I don't know, maybe it's pyramid schemes. Pyramid schemes make so much sense, where it's like, yeah, do you want to be like me? Hit me in the DMs below. Hit me in the DMs. Hit me up. Tag a comment that says, I want to know more, and I'll DM you back. If you want to make, if you're tired of sitting there working real hard, you know, and you want to make easy cash, follow me. Follow Bogan Pete. I got your back, man. It's got nothing to do with me selling drugs or anything. I got your back. Like, that's what it feels like. I don't know. You look at him, you're like, oh man. Like, if they're doing well, good for them. But far out. At least get some good, decent editing on your videos. I mean, coming from a bloke running his first episode of a podcast with a $25 mic, but if you got $50,000 a month, like that's what you're saying you're pulling in, can't you just get someone random to, you know, edit your video so it doesn't look like you just recorded it in like your spare room in your house? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I see those things on Facebook and I always, you know, here's me having a go at them and I'm sitting at the computer on a Friday afternoon talking to myself realistically. But I don't know. Does anyone else observe that sort of stuff? It just doesn't really make sense. Like, even those people, like, I hate people who always tell you they're busy. Like, why do you have to tell me that you're busy? I mean, being busy is kind of an inconvenience, to be honest. Like, I'd much rather be doing nothing, but, you know, you always have that person. There's always that one person, whether it's in your friendship group or you work with them, they always want to tell you they're busy. So no one cares that you're busy. Everyone's busy. Like, you could literally be playing a game on your Xbox and you'd be busy. But there's always one person that wants to tell you all the stuff they've done. Like, it's like they want you to be like, man, you know what? You are busy. Congrats, man. You are busy. Like, isn't that weird that we have to strive to be busy? And like, I'm noticing it more and more now with those like entrepreneurial type people. Like, they always have to be like hashtag on the grind. They're always on the grind. Like, I'll see on their Instagrams that they tag in at work at like 5 a.m. and then, you know, they're not leaving work till like 9 p.m. Like, on the grind. And you're like that just seems like terrible. I mean, if you really enjoy like what you're doing, but working bloody 5 a.m. till 9 p.m. and then just tagging on the grind, like, are you really on the grind from 5 till 9? Because I know I got a few mates that are tradies, and like if they were proper on the grind from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m., they'd all be dead, literally. So like, at what point are you on the grind? Like, how many hours a day when you're on the grind? I'm doing air quotes here. How many hours a day are you actually working? And usually those people who are on the grind are like not actually working. They're kind of doing their own thing, which is cool. But like, are you really on the grind? I mean, if you literally are grinding things down for hours, you're technically, you're probably more or less on the grind. But yeah, grinding. Hashtag grinding. Far out, I get so annoyed at that. Hashtag grinding. Hashtag I want everyone to know that I'm working. Hashtag look how busy I am at all this work that I've just created for myself. Like, I don't get it. I'll never understand on the grind. I think I ironically tag on the grind in some of my like few Instagram posts just to be a piece of shit. But yeah, on the grind. I'm on the grind now, technically. If we're thinking like that, like if I was sitting here recording, like right now I'm on the grind. I'm grinding right now. Right now with my beer in my hand and the mic in front of me. I'm grinding. This isn't grinding. I'm literally just talking shit. But I can actually hashtag that as grinding. Post it on Instagram. Post a little photo of my mic. Completely talentless, but I'm on the grind. I'm going to get there. Like, I don't understand. I will never understand why people tell you how busy I am. Like, the worst thing I hate, actually, is when you're busy yourself and other people are telling you how busy they are, and it becomes like a busy off. Like, you're trying to out-busy each other. Like, I'm busy, yeah, but guess what? I'm more busy than you. Like, no one's winning in this situation. No one is winning in a busy off. You're both doing stuff that you don't want to do, but you're competing. Like, oh, the shit that I have to do that is annoying for me is a lot more than your annoying shit. Like, could you imagine that? Could you imagine if you're a person and you're like, man, this shit I'm doing sucks, but I tell you what, I'm doing more of this sucky shit than you are. Like, you think, I mean, if I was in that situation and I was comparing like my busyness and then the person next to me goes, oh, no, I'm not busy. I'm chilling out. I'm having a great time. I'd be like, fuck that guy. Damn it. Like, he's not busy and I'm busy. And I'd try and win him back by, yeah, like, I'm busy. I'm so busy. I'm always on the grind. And then that person goes, yeah, no, well, I'm going home, probably going to have a nap, going to watch some Netflix. I'd be like, man, I'm fucking jealous of you. I'm so jealous. But yeah, busy off. Who would have thought a busy off? They want you got to be more busy than the other person. Seems stupid. I'll never understand that. Sometimes the human brain, the way people act with one another is hilarious. Sometimes, like nowadays, I think I go out to clubs and stuff just to observe people's interactions with each other. That sounds terribly weird. Like, that sounds so off-puttingly weird. But being 24 now, I don't go out to get girls. I barely even go out to drink anymore. Going out's annoying. I'm being around people. Inner City Hermit, man. I just want to be by myself or with a few people. But you go out and you watch the way, especially dudes, man. Far out. Like, we need to start teaching it in school. Someone should work out with blokes like how to approach and talk to chicks. Because some of the game I'm seeing from young blokes, like 18-year-old dudes, is so heinous. Like, boys, pick your game up. Like, I don't know. I feel bad for girls because I feel like girls now are just having to lower their expectations of the way guys speak. Like, some of the moves that get pulled. I'm a bit out of the loop, but like I never understand dick pics. Why do you want photos of the chick? Like, can't you just go and like, I don't know, see them in person? Like, I feel like we're past the dick pic age. I feel like we're past the nudes age. Like, do we really need nudes? I mean, honestly, like, do you really need to see what a girl, or even on the other side, like, girls, do you really want to see an erect dick? Like, just a picture of a big veiny motherfucker sitting right in front of you. Like, I can't name one girl that I'm not a girl, but I can't see a girl looking at a picture of a dick and just being like, oh, yep, that's it. That's the dick. Like, why? It's same with nudes. Like, when you are, like, a guy says, send me a pic. Like, what's that? What am I going to get out of that? I'm still going to be just as lonely. Like, you're still going to be just as lonely touching yourself. Why do you need a pic? Like, can't you, most people can drive. Most people who ask for photos can drive. Just drive over there. Like, it's probably better for you if you drove over there. Just say hello. Instead of asking for pics. Less pics. No pics. At the end of the day, you need to look at their face. They could have great titties, but, at the end of the day, you need to look at their face. So why pics? Boys, can we just, guys, let's get rid of the nudes era. The nudes era needs to die. No more nudes era. I mean, it just comes back to bite you in the butt anyway. Like, the amount of dick pics that get leaked, you're literally sending a pic. Your picture of your dick is more likely to get you in trouble with the police than more likely to get you in bed with a girl. Like, you're more likely to get embarrassed later on down the track because of a dick pic than you are to get laid. Like, think before you dick pic, please. Girls, think before you nudes. Because I can guarantee you half those nudes that you send are going to your boys' friends. 100%. Don't send nudes. End the nudes era. No more nudes era. Done. Dusted. No more. Finish it. Just talk to each other. Learn how to talk to each other, please. It would be fantastic if we did. Anyway, I think that's me done for the first episode. I don't want to ramble too much. I've already rambled too much right now. I've got too many ideas going around in my brain. But like I said, Inner City Hermits, we're realistic. I really want to get guests on, you know, even if it's just my mates, or I've got a few friends that are doing really cool startup projects and stuff like that. So I want to learn more. This is the whole point around it. And, you know, I feel like localizing in Brisbane, there's a lot of people in Brisbane that are doing really cool stuff. And I feel like, you know, as a city, there's so much cool stuff going on, whether it be with music, science, school, like teaching-wise, comedy. There's so many talented people in Brisbane. And to get a podcast started that really, you know, can push those people or give those people a bit of a way to have an audience or a bit of a platform to speak on would be so cool. So, you know, that's what I want. I'm doing this because I love it, and it's a bit of therapy for me. And, you know, I know the people that are going to come on are going to be just as into it as well. So that's episode 1, Inner City Hermits. My name's Matsen. If you do like the podcast, please subscribe, and there will be extra content coming out. And we're going to try and get on Spotify, stuff like that, so it is easy to access. But thank you so much for listening. If you got this far and you got through the whole thing, congrats. Thank you for listening to my bullshit. But until then, peace out, legends.